You want the best guns in Battlefield 6 for all classes and categories to end 2025 or maybe start 2026 or whenever you're watching this. So here's my take, starting with the assault rifles. For me, it's the very fun to use Cord 6P67, 900 rounds per minute rate of fire with 20 damage per bullet and solid overall stats, a genuine versatility powerhouse. As always, nobody likes exactly what everybody else likes and nobody plays exactly like how others play, so drop your recommendations and top picks in the comments if you want. But I love my Cord for the ability to just play however I want in any given situation. Attachment wise, we start with the Baker 3x scope for the ability to check an area out and also to look for enemies in tougher spots, as Battlefield always seems to have visibility issues, but without being so magnified that it makes close range hard. Followed by the green laser for the right accessory slot, giving a nice boost to hip fire without being too expensive, which is important because we are running and gunning with the Cord and need to take on SMGs at close range. Then we have the standard suppressor because being highlighted in the 3D space or on the minimap is something we want to limit as much as possible, as long as the rest of the build lets us afford it and it makes sense for the weapon. Onto the basic 415mm factory barrel and the alloy vertical for the underbarrel. Why? Because I generally want a boost to my weapon's precision and control, but don't want to hamper my accuracy when aiming down sight or whilst moving, which is a drawback of a lot of the more expensive underbarrels that boost the precision and control higher according to the stat bars, but generally aren't worth it unless it's a very specific playstyle. Then the 30 round fast mag to stay in the fight as much as possible, and finishing off with any rounds you like. I'm on frangible because I was dabbling with trying out the delayed healing for enemies in red sec. There's hollow point for more headshot damage, or just go super cheap and then throw the extra points into a better laser for hip fire maybe. If that's a good start, hi, consider subscribing to help me finally hit 100k, get a YouTube plaque for my dad, and you get regular Battlefield content like this. Thank you very much.
I'm also a fan of the super powerful TR7. Now, doesn't this voice add a bit of gravitas?
If yes, maybe I need to work on my own voice, because no, I'm not talented enough to do impersonations like that. I had help from Ease Us Voice Wave. If you want over 300 built-in voices and 200 AI voices to entertain your friends online or hide your own voice in undesirable lobbies, then listen up for today's sponsor. It's easy. Once you've downloaded it from the link in the description, head below, just connect to your mic, select a voice,
and away you go.
For example, we've got the classic girl voice.
Hey, this is always a fan favorite. Can't possibly imagine why.
The little boy voice.
It's Get Good when I was about 7 years old.
Or, if you get Voice Wave Pro, all of these voices such as Santa Claus.
Ho, 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 jingle bells.
Then the Voice Laboratory lets you tweak your effects to be just right, and there's a soundboard that you can use as well. Here's some examples. You'll be pleased to hear it works seamlessly on Discord, WhatsApp, streaming platforms, and much more with ultra low latency and optimized resource usage to ensure sustained stability. All super easy, all super fun, with friends or randoms, and helping to keep this channel running today for this video. Let's get a round of applause for that. Check it out in the description and feel free to tell me on any of my videos what fun you managed to have with it. Maybe join a lobby with the mature male voice,
And be the ultimate intimidating soldier.
let me know. Next up, we have the M4A1 for an aggressive close range option for all classes. 25 damage per bullet and 900 rate of fire. Also viable outside of close range, but does require solid recoil management to make that worthwhile. For the build, we start with the Baker 3x scope. Yep, this magnification is a common selection for me. If you don't like that zoom level, just pick whatever works for you on any of the guns today. Followed by the 10-point green laser again because it's still cheap and effective. Then the standard suppressor, sounding very similar so far, but then the 14.5-inch carbine extended barrel for faster muzzle velocity, opening the gun up to be a bit more viable outside of the very close range areas. Then alloy vertical underbarrel for the same reasons explained for the Cord, as I used it in a fairly similar fashion. The 30 round fast mag next, and then the lightweight rounds to really give us that run and gun aggressive feel, rounding it all off with the rail cover for faster weapon draw speed speed to beat enemies to the first bullet in those close range fights where aiming down sight is still required, and when it isn't, you have that green laser for hip firing. Now we have the SMG pick, always a fun category for how I play, and this is the PW5A3. And it's another versatility pick because I lack originality, but I legitimately find this to be a solid option for best gun in the game for current balancing if you want to be aggressive but still have the capability to pretty much do whatever you want. It's surprisingly good at mid-range and can pick people off at long range with tap firing in a way that I feel it just shouldn't really be able to, whilst obviously dominating close range because it's an SMG. For the build, we start with the BF2M 2.5x scope for a bit less magnification than our previous guns, as it's a little more close range focused, but still allowing for scanning the environment when needed, followed by the 20-point green laser for excellent hip fire, then the 20-point standard suppressor because staying unspotted generally means staying alive. The extended 245mm custom barrel, then, to help with the longer range battles, followed by the predictable alloy vertical underbarrel, but this gun really is shockingly stable, so if you feel like it, consider going with no underbarrel if you find it still be easy to use, and spend the points elsewhere, something I'm considering myself at the minute. Then there's the 30 round fast mag and the standard FMJ ammo. It's an SMG, but it feels like more than just an SMG with this setup. Really good, give it a go. Alright, onto the LMG, and this is the KTS 100. Solid one for more passive play, really good for red sec with this build, but I actually changed my mind and picked another gun despite this being my original selection, as you can see on the thumbnail, but I'll show you both builds anyway. So here's the build really quickly for the KTS 100. Thermal Grim 1.5x scope, standard suppressor, 508mm MK8 heavy extended barrel, canted stubby underbarrel, 60 round fast mag, and standard FMJ ammo. Really nice build for holding areas down, spotting enemies, and again, red sec for sustained fire and seeing the enemies early. But for my playstyle, this just stopped hitting really, so here's a very aggressive M123K build instead, with 25 damage per round, 830 rate of fire, and 100 rounds per reload. ROM 1.75x scope, the 30-point blue laser for great hip fire and mobility. Yes, we're really running in up close to the danger with this thing. Then the 20-point standard suppressor and the 370mm compact short barrel for a faster transition to aiming down sight. We then have the folding vertical underbarrel purely because the rest of the build is really expensive. Then the 100 round belt pouch magazine and standard FMJ ammo. Please give this one a try even if you're doubtful about it. Some of you will find it really suits you. You can get very aggressive and just keep spraying away with tons of ammo. But next we have the DMRs, and for me it's the SVDM. More lethal than the M39 EMR, but with a little more userability needed. I have no interest in the LMR 27, and the SVK, whilst fun for 2-shot kills, is just a bit unforgiving, especially if the game doesn't register one of your rounds, which does happen sometimes. So for the build, we open with the STO 3.5x scope for a little more magnification than our other guns so far, due to the nature of the gun, but again, not so zoomed in that we get tunnel vision and then suck at close range. Then we have the 25-point long suppressor for a real focus on weapon accuracy while staying off the minimap, the 620mm classic extended barrel for a boost to projectile velocity, really going in massively on the dominating mid to long range focus of the gun. The ribbed vertical is up next for the underbarrel, as we typically want to be planting our feet with this and relying on the accuracy of the gun doing the work smoothly. The 10 round fast mag is up next, and then we have the hollow point rounds to do extra damage with headshots, because why not, when you consider how the rest of the gun is built and what makes it shine. Which brings us to the sniper rifles. Now admittedly, I've done very little sniping in this game so far. My go-to when I do is still the M2010 ESR for both multiplayer and red sec. I know people are really hyping up the mini scout at the minute, so if you think I need to put serious time into that, let me know in the comments and maybe I will. Perhaps it'll make the list for my proper 2026 version of this video. Who knows, maybe I'll have a totally different list overall. Anyway, here's my build very quickly. SSDS 6x scope, flash hider, extended 26-inch carbon barrel, low profile stubby underbarrel, 5 round fast mag, match grade long range rounds, and very importantly for red sec I find, the DLC bolt for rechambering rounds while still in ADS. No, I don't do all that rangefinder garbage with dual inputs and all that, so I don't have that attachment selected. You can do if you want to. And onto the shotgun, where I have a very different pick to the vast majority of players. I prefer the 18.5 KSK, because whilst getting a one shot with the M87A1 for example is great, when it doesn't kill them, or the game's hit detection screws up, it sucks. So I like the more sustained firepower of the 18.5. If you're desperate for me to reconsider and use a different shotgun for the next time I do this list, let me know. But this thing fires at 300 rounds per minute with 80 damage and 8 shots per reload in semi-auto. Here's the build: ROM 1.75x sight, 20 point blue laser because you will be hip firing, then the flash hider because I'm not as bothered about being off the minimap with a suppressor. With this one, just let the enemies come to you and blast them down. Then the basic 430mm cut barrel and the ribbed stubby underbarrel for faster transitioning to aiming down sights. The 8-round fast mag because I literally can't see the point selecting a semi-auto shotgun and then only having 4 rounds, and then finishing it off with the buckshot ammunition. What do you think? I hope you enjoy some of the builds. Let me know yours. Like for more, subscribe to get my stuff in your feed more often. Thank you for the boost towards 100k subs, again really appreciate it. And shout out for my patrons for supporting on Patreon, link in the description if you'd like to join them. And YouTube is now suggesting another video of mine it thinks you'll like, and I'll see you over there.